Good morning. I almost couldn't wait for the time to get here, 555, to start this video. I'm in a much different and much better place than I was this time yesterday. The title for today is Allowing the Divine Lover. I just came out of meditation again. I'm still feeling the divine lover I invited yesterday at a time when I was feeling unloved. It felt a bit awkward to me, sharing that prayer to God, Goddess, for everyone to see and hear. But something happened. Something shifted in and for me. Several times since then, my senses are picking up something that sure feels like love to me. It's not sexual love at the genital level as much as it is a deeper love at the cellular level. Yes, I'm feeling it throughout my body. And it feels really good, definitely more than just a sexual feeling. Have I really not allowed the divine lover all this time in my life, until yesterday? I'm not sure what story is true in that regard. I only know the present moment, which is enough. Could it really be this easy? I actually wrote that about a half an hour ago, actually a little more than a half an hour ago now. And I've been just sitting here pondering many things, many things. My life has undergone significant change over the past, over a month and a half now since I met this lady who challenged me. Why should you think that you're only allowed to love and be loved by one other person in your life without limits? In other words, body, soul, and spirit. Sexual and spiritual love combined. Why should that be restricted to just one other person? She informed me that the more love she shares, the more love she has to share. And that love is the only thing that she knows about, that the more you give it away, the more of it you have. These are strange concepts for people like me who have grown up in a culture where sexual love or romantic love is seen as a very limited commodity. Something that is so sacred that it can only be shared in the confines of a very small box, and only with one other person. And because of that, I and many other people have spent much of my life alone. Much of my life pining for the connection that would come, that would allow me to experience the love that I knew I deserved, the love that I thought I wanted, the love that I believed would fulfill me, the love that would be the answer to all of my prayers. And that love had to come in the form of a woman that I found attractive, in the form of a woman who was able to meet me at the intellectual level, at the emotional level, at the spiritual level, and the sexual level, all combined, all firing on all cylinders. And someone that had a personality that I could tolerate enough to actually live with, because that love is something that you want in your world all the time, 24/7, or at least as much of the time as you could possibly get it. This was the image I had of what I thought I wanted. As I said, I'm not sure what story is true. We tell ourselves stories. I had an example of that in talking with my friend last night. Actually, I talked with a couple of friends last night. But in this one conversation that I'm referring to, and other conversations along the same line, I realized that sometimes somebody tells me something. They don't tell me the whole story, they just tell me something. And my mind fills in blanks that were not provided. And then sometimes I'm fortunate enough to uncover the truth that the blank that I filled in with information that I didn't have had nothing to do with reality. I made it up. How much of the stories that we tell ourselves do we just simply make up because we've been programmed to think a certain way? Our mind has been controlled to operate in certain boxes, compartmentalizing our lives so that one part of our life cannot possibly touch another part, and we can never become whole. I said I had 2 conversations last night, and another conversation was along the lines of feeling unloved as well. And I was sharing what I had experienced as a result of the prayer that is today's video on the 2nd day of June 2014. And I was trying to explain what my friend had explained to me about the more love you have, or the more love you share, the more love you have to share. And I got an email back, and she probably will be upset, but I'm not revealing her identity. It's a person that doesn't live near me, a person that I've communicated with for some time. But she wrote, I just know that no matter what I do, I can't stop hurting. I am so tired of hurting. Either way I go, I am hurting. Alone, coupled, friendless, friends, it doesn't matter. It all just hurts like hell. I can't accept that I should give up my hope of having one person that loves me for me and chooses me and is willing to deny all the other people that they could go mess around with because they want to be true to me and have a special bond that is only meant for us. I have thought about what you said about that being ego and needing to control, but I see it as faithfulness and honor. I want to cherish one man, not one man plus any other men that turn me on along the way. I can't change that about me. I don't want to change that about me. I like that about me. Talk about mirrors. She is speaking the exact way that I have felt most of my life. And I'll bet it's the way a lot of you might feel about your life. That's what most of us think we want. I thought that's what I wanted. I really did. I really did. And I couldn't have put it in words any more succinct than what she wrote to me. And I thank you for providing that mirror to show me where I've been most of my life and why I have hurt like hell most of my life, why I have felt unloved and alone and unsupported. It's an attitude. It's an attitude that I'm still struggling to see clearly, but I'm starting to see it more clearly, especially after the prayer yesterday and what I've been experiencing since then. I feel like I really am love. It's not a theoretical thing. I'm feeling the love. And I know that this is essential for the work that I've chosen to do of helping to heal me, and in so doing, heal the world around me. Literally to create a world that works for everybody. But that world that works for everybody has to allow the divine lover. You can't be divorced from the sea in which we live, and the sea meaning the ocean in which we live, and that ocean is love. It is everywhere at all times, but we can actually choose not to see it, not to feel it, not to experience it, not to share it, not to know it. We can experience all of that, and we've done so, haven't we? Because we've put it in a little box. We've bought into the control mechanism that our ego has grabbed onto and says, I want to be special. Well, the specialness that we are is that we are all interconnected. The specialness that we are is that we all contain and are the same thing, love. Love crying out to be expressed, or love being expressed. And that choice is up to us. I didn't see it as being up to us. I'm saying, well, there's no one to love me out there. There's no one that I can relate to on all levels. There's no one that seems like the right one for me. And everywhere I go, I mean, I either settle for something so I'm not alone that doesn't feel right because I'm trying to put it in a box because they're not measuring up to my projection of what they should be for me. And I'm probably not measuring up to their projection of what I should be for them. And so we're unhappy even when we're together. And that's how I've lived much of my life. Now, it doesn't mean that I have not had good relationships. I've had a couple of really good relationships, really good ones. My second marriage was mostly a very good relationship. My fiance, the only time I've ever been engaged where I didn't get married, and I've only been engaged 3 times, so 2 of them I got married, 1 of them I didn't. But the only one that I didn't get married, that was an excellent relationship. I mean, I loved that lady. These are both Gemini. I mean, are both air sign, not Gemini. Well, one of them was a Gemini and one of them was an Aquarius. They're both other air signs like me. But does that really matter? Could I not also love fire signs, earth signs, water signs? See, I have all these limitations that I created, but I wasn't allowing the divine lover. I wasn't allowing the goddess to love me. I was saying, no, my reality is I'm unloved. My reality is I'm alone. I was buying into the illusion. I've been buying into it my whole life. Have not we all been doing that to some degree or another? Have we not bought into the illusion that there's not enough love to go around? When love is the only thing that creates everything? And love is so creative that it even allows you to create the illusion that you don't have it, that you're somehow missing out. And so you think, you believe you're missing out, so guess what you experience? Missing out. I've done it all my life. I've done it this way. I've been alone all my life. Because I didn't understand love. Because I thought love, in order to be special, had to be kept in a little box, a little container that was so sacred and so holy that only 2 people were allowed in it at any one time. And that was it. And not only any one time, but for all of our lives, till death do us part. And that's the image that we've been sold. That's the bill of goods that we've been sold. And some of you are saying, Ron, but that's wonderful. That's such a good thing. Is it? Is it? I thought it was a good thing too. I've lived my life on that ideal. I've prided myself that I've been willing to say no when love appeared, or an opportunity to make love to somebody showed up at my doorstep, and I'd say, no, I don't want to experience that pain again of having a one-night stand and having somebody that it felt good for a moment and I wanted to connect with them again and they disappeared. And so I don't want that to happen in my life. Because that's not what love is about. That's not sacred enough. That's not special enough. And I'm too self-righteous to allow that kind of love in my life. So I'm going to tell you no. And I prided myself in telling people no that showed up. Now, maybe they didn't have good intentions. Maybe they wanted something else. But the point is, what I did to myself is I said no to me. I was saying no to the divine lover that appeared in other forms. That appeared in something that didn't measure up or seem right to what my expectation was. And my friend, I'm taking it off the wall. My friend wrote to me, I know this is not what you had in mind for a romantic relationship. A married woman? Oh, my God, give me a break. Of course it's not. You deserve more bubbles up in my mind from time to time. Yeah, I felt I deserved more. I felt I deserved that one significant other that could fulfill all my needs and answer my prayers and be the fulfillment of my dreams come true. Okay, that's what I thought I wanted. That's what so many people feel they want. And we limit the divine lover. We do not allow the divine lover that loves to express itself in many forms, in many people, in many ways. Some of it sexual, some of it not sexual. But when we limit how that love is going to be expressed and how that love can be accepted by us, we limit every area of our lives. And the love is limited in that area simply because we've chosen a limitation. We've chosen a lack instead of seeing an abundance. I mean, people decry pornography, for example. It's an abundance of beauty. However you choose to see it, nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. What story are you telling about these things in our lives that are present? I mean, I've beat myself up all my life, all of my adult life, and I've had other people come along and help beat me up at times for being sexual, for liking beauty, for liking pictures, for liking images, for liking touch, for touching myself. I beat myself up over and over and over again, and I try to get rid of that feeling of guilt, that feeling of shame. But I realize now, I'm beginning to realize now more and more, that it's a bill of goods that I was sold. And I bought that bill of goods and I identified myself with it. It's a story that I chose to believe. Therefore, I chose to experience it. Therefore, I was not allowing the divine lover to appear in my life in many ways, in many forms. But what about the Bible, Ron? I was asked. What about the Bible? And it says one wife, one husband, talks about one relationship. Yeah, it does. One of the biggest control mechanisms ever created to control us in what is most natural to us, our sensual, sexual nature, which unlocks our spiritual nature. Ah, the paradox. I choose, and I'm thankful I chose, to be loved by the divine lover. And I want to be able to go into meditation at any time and feel the caress, feel the ripples and the waves going through my body of being touched and being loved, and letting my body come alive, letting my cells regenerate, letting my immune system work at its peak performance. Yeah, you don't need to worry about sexually transmitted diseases if you operate at the high frequency of love without limits. But if you want to operate at a lower frequency, then you have the guilt and shame mechanisms built in that will punish you, not because you've done something wrong, but because your attitude toward love is limited. I'm giving you something to think about. It's something that I'm thinking about, and I'm sharing it with you. You can take it wherever you want. You can hate me or love me or however you choose. But I'm choosing to let the divine lover come to me however he, she chooses. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to get involved in homosexual relationships, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be able to have sex with just anybody. I probably can't. And it's probably not a good idea to do so. But I want to be more open than I've ever been before, and simply allow the divine lover. Thank you for listening. Namaste.